Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Blindfold Off podcast, where we take off our blindfolds and open our eyes to new views, topics, and discussions. I'm Emmanuel.
And I'm Ernie.
And today, we're going to talk about a movie that we recently just watched. It's called A Silent Voice, if you guys haven't checked it out. And, this movie, oh man, it gave me so many swirls of emotions. I was kind of... Okay, basically, the premise of the movie... the premise of the movie is about this boy who bullies...
Spoiler warning.
Or, I'm going to give the premise of the plot.
Spoiler warning if we're still going to talk about it.
Yeah, we're still going to talk about it.
So, spoiler warning, if you haven't seen A Silent Voice, go watch it, then come back and listen to what we have to say.
Yeah. Basically, the plot is about a boy who bullies this new girl who comes to school. She can't speak. She's deaf, too. So, and because of this, all the kids give her a hard time because she's different. And soon as the movie progresses, they both grow older. And this boy tries to make amends with this girl who has been deaf. And he even learned sign language. And he just wants to make things right because...
So he grew up and he matured and he realized what he did was wrong.
Yeah.
And he understood the effects of his actions and how it affected her because he experienced the same thing.
Yeah.
And the reason why she felt, or what she was getting bullied was she used a notepad to communicate. And she couldn't obviously hear anything around her, but people would talk about her and they would steal her
hearing aids.
They steal her hearing aids, and then they would throw them away, or they would throw them off the balcony. They would get broken in some type of way. Then the mom would have to continually buy some new ones. Then eventually she went to the principal and she was like, but she went and told the principal that my daughter's hearing aids are continually getting broken. And so then the teacher had to find out who it was, and it ended up being the boy who later in the story wanted to make amends, and that's who the story is based around.
Yeah. And basically the whole movie just goes down a spiral of bullying and trying to make amends and blocking people out of your vision, just to kind of, not be selfish. Well, in a way,
It's more so trying to find why he wants to make amends and the actual reason, because the little sister, of what is it, Yoko?
Shoko.
Shoko, of the girl with pink hair. Mm-hmm. The little sister, she told the boys, just because you feel guilty and you want to make yourself feel better, and that was the constant theme throughout the entire movie, until eventually we find out that he's dealing with his own problems, that he also tried to take his own life because he felt so bad for it. And not only does he want to make himself feel better, he just wants to right the wrongs he's done because he knows it's wrong. Because I don't know, it was so powerful because she tried to commit suicide, and by jumping off, and he saved her. Then he ended up getting into a coma. Then the worst part was that all this bad stuff was happening to her, and people would continually blame her, and she would continually get beat, and people would still call her bad names, and eventually it was revealed to us that she hates herself.
Yeah.
That she hates herself, and she doesn't know how to change, and she can't change because she hates herself so much, and that's why she wanted to kill herself.
Yeah.
And I think she hated herself probably because she's deaf, and that's what she's thinking if she wasn't deaf, that people would hate her less.
Yeah.
But come to realize, if you get older, regardless if you're deaf or not, you're still going to deal with problems and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And the story in the movie wanted to communicate that you have to fight through those problems, and you can't give in and just basically commit suicide. And you have to fight through those problems and understand that when you grow older, that they're just not going to stop. And
yeah. Another important thing that I realized, too, just reflecting on the movie again, is that even though it feels like everyone else kind of spews hate at you or just treats you poorly, it doesn't mean that you don't have people around you who love you. Like the boy's mom, who found out that he wanted to commit suicide. Her emotions just spiked. She didn't know what to do. She was panicking. And it's really important to realize that when you are feeling depressed and lonely and lost, there are still people who care for you. And it's powerful that there are family, there are friends who still care for you, who want to support you, see you win. Something in the movie that's struck me was because the boy, okay, so visually in his head, he would put X's on people's faces because I would say the X's symbolize that he doesn't see people as people, if that makes sense. He sees them as people who judge him, people who just look down on him. When in reality, when he took off the X's, he realized they're all people. They're all people with problems.
Once he took off the X's, started to enjoy life. And
Yeah,
he realized everything
yeah.
around him was beautiful, and it's something to experience and be happy about and not take life for granted.
Right, yeah.
Because I remember, because we were talking about this yesterday, and that was one of the points Emmanuel communicated, but he basically said it.
Yeah.
So, two takeaways I got were how Shoko, she acted so nice even when people were being rude to her and basically like beating her up all the time, and just I don't know, just that is, I guess, a good takeaway. Like you shouldn't be letting these people bully you and basically beat you up, but a good takeaway is to always be nice to everyone.
Yeah, to kill them with kindness.
To kill them with kindness, yeah. Then the second thing I took away is, Emmanuel already touched on this, but we all have our own problems, and everyone fights their own battles. Everyone carries their own cross. And just be aware of that and always treat everyone with kindness, because you don't know what they're going through or what might happen. And you don't want to add on as well. Add on to another problem. Right,
yeah. See, two takeaways that I got from the movie was that, I mean, I previously said it before already, but there are people that care for you. There are things in life to appreciate, such as people caring for you, people who love you, people who want to see you win. And there are people that also have the same problems as you. I think you already mentioned that there are people with problems. Everyone has problems. Everyone has their own inner demons. You're not alone. And that's just one of the few things in A Silent Voice that I took away that just struck me.
Then I think the big thing the writer wanted to communicate was life is beautiful and you need to enjoy it, because if you get a second chance, like, you're going to enjoy it way more.
Yeah.
Because you saw from his perspective, he basically was in a coma. Then he just was like, you know what, I'm going to give these people a chance. He was like, whoa. He started crying just because he was in so much emotion about what he missed and everything that he was missing out on, just because he let his own feelings and judgment just label people and things and just have a negative outlook on life. And he literally broke down crying in the middle of what was it, the festival?
Yeah, festival.
Of the festival, because he was just because he just forgot to enjoy life, and now he realizes what a gift it is.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to say is, like, if you know someone committing, or not committing, but is struggling and wants to commit suicide, do not, as like an arguing point for them not to commit suicide, is use other people as basically as a tool to tell them that they shouldn't commit suicide. That person that got there in the first place because they feel like their life isn't valued. What you need to do is basically tell them that their life matters, and basically show them and basically care for them that they matter, and just comfort them and tell them that you're there for them no matter what.
Yep.
Because using other people as in, like, look how many other lives you're going to affect if you commit suicide. Like, your mom's going to cry, your dad's going to cry, all this is going to happen. That's not really a good thing, because the person doesn't really feel good doesn't, they feel worse, in fact.
Yeah, they would feel worse.
But then they just have another, like, thing in them that makes them not want to do it. I don't know how to describe it, but, like, I can't really come up with the word.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean, is that it's just adding more pressure on them.
Yeah, it's like adding more pressure, but it's, I don't know, it's just basically not making their life valued. It's just using, like, other people to just try to make them stop, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, stop from doing that. And that's not a really good thing to do, it because that person really doesn't value their life.
Yeah.
And you have to communicate,
you have to remind
that
them that
their life
is valuable. Yeah, their life does matter.
And of course it does matter to other people as well, but they need to feel validated and valued.
Yeah, like they need the reminder for themselves that, because what they're going through right now, that's like bringing another person into their life, and it doesn't really, I guess, bringing another problem into the problem that's already there isn't going to solve it. You need to address the problem that's happening right there first.
That's true.
You need to address it. You need to show them that you care. Basically what you said, Ernie, show them that you care. Show them that they're loved and that they matter.
Another thing we wanted to touch on was basically how we got bullied and how it affects us today. And I know a lot of people that have been bullied. If you have been bullied in your life or felt that way, it's not uncommon. Most people have been bullied, or for one way or another, for something or something else, or it could be anything. And for me, I yeah, let me show you a picture. The same shirt I wore in 4th grade still fits me today. That's how fat I was when I was in 4th grade. Yeah, I was big.
Wow.
Yeah, like I could put it on right now and it would fit perfect. Yeah, I look like, well, I showed you, but I look like that.
That was you.
The other one on the left.
On the left.
Yeah, I look like that. Big ol' Ernie right there. Yeah, and I got, that was me when I was 12. Yeah, that was me when I was 12. And I got, and for obvious reasons, you could tell I was I was bullied a lot for being a obviously fat, overweight kid, and probably not really athletic. And I got mad a lot just because I didn't know how to react to the bullying and stuff like that. And I also wanted to take my own life at that age, just because every day I just didn't want to go to school, and it was so bad that I just wanted to take my own life just because I don't know. I don't know. It was more like I wanted somebody to care for me. It just felt like nobody really cared for me. And that's honestly how it felt, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Were you being bullied by people who were, quote unquote, normal, if that makes sense? Or, I mean, like,
yeah, I understand.
Regular sized?
Yeah, of course. Of course, I get bullied by the skinny kids. And
the skinny kids, yeah.
That, and I obviously wasn't, I guess, good looking. Nobody's really good looking at 12. I mean, it doesn't really matter at 12. But, yeah, and I just goofed off a lot, and I was really silly trying to make friends that way. And it just didn't turn out that well. But I mean, at least I'm still goofy and I'm good looking.
You're, goofy. You're goofy, good looking, and
jacked now.
And swole.
I'm jacked now. See, that's what bullying does.
Yeah,
it gets me jacked. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously though.
So, would your method of overcoming it be through working out then, or what were some methods that you had to kind of grow out of it, so to say, or not grow out of it, but
working out was more so a product of, because I wanted to be good at baseball, so that was more so a product of that. And basically when I got older, like 14, I lost just a bunch of weight just because I grew up. But like I matured, and growth spurt? Growth spurt, and I basically hit puberty. So I basically lost all of that, or lost some of it, and now I don't have any of it, because I'm 20. So it's kind of hard looking back just because it was so long ago, and I guess some of the things I'm dealing with now are, I guess, I'm still like insecure about my body, and like I'm looking in the mirror, I'm like, I look chunky, I look fat, I wonder what they're gonna say to me. What are the effects like if I do this and that? And sometimes I'm still super silly, and I get hurt by like what people say to me, like oh, stop being so childish, you're older now. It's like, well, I mean, that's just who I am, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I suppose that sometimes I could turn it down, but that's just what happened. It's kind of tough, especially since like me and you've never really talked about this.
Yeah.
We haven't really talked about this, and just to like kind of say it like in front of, like, I don't know, people are gonna listen to this, is a little difficult.
Yeah.
Not to lie to you. Today, I more so take it with a grain of salt, and I just ignore people because people are people, and I understand that everyone's going through their own struggles, so I just ignore it, and I try not to let it get in my way. But if it's something that really does bother me, I've been going to therapy or counseling, and I've been talking about it with her. My amazing therapist, great lady. I'm not going to give you her name because that's disrespectful, but great lady. And she just helps me understand and basically get through that. And I feel a lot better today. And I feel like I can almost have my cup filled at any time and just pour out onto other people as well.
That's good.
And how about yourself? Like, what if you remember, like, what were you getting bullied for? And like, did you remember anything from there? Like anything, I mean, obviously traumatic, but like why?
For me, I would say I didn't necessarily notice any bullying. Like, I never had people say stuff to my face, but I felt like it was more passive in a way.
Can you explain?
I would say it was passive in that, so I started making music around 15 years old. Of course, the music wasn't that good at the time, but you know, I was having fun with it.
To you, it meant a lot?
Yeah, to me, it meant a lot. I wanted people to hear it. I wanted people to hear it, vibe to it, acknowledge me for the music. And I think for me, I just got lost into seeking validation from other people, that because I wanted to find it so bad, because I wanted to find validation from other people so bad, when I didn't get it, I just felt like empty. When I didn't get the numbers that I thought I would. We previously talked on a podcast about numbers and validation, and this is a common struggle that I've just had throughout my whole life. It's a common theme that I've had about seeking validation from other people. Like, I've always had it when I was younger. I've always wanted to be the cool kid. I've always wanted to be noticed in a good way, not in a bad way. I didn't want to be seen as that, oh, he's a SoundCloud rapper. He's just, his music is, you know, it's just. And seeking validation from other people got so bad to the point where I just felt like my creation wasn't worth it. What I was making was meaningless if people weren't going to listen to it, if people weren't going to acknowledge me for what I've been creating. And then honestly, what made me appreciate my music more, what made me appreciate what I was creating, was the fact that I just kept going. I kept learning from my mistakes. I kept learning from my past music, what I could do better, and so forth and so forth. The progress just kept evolving and evolving. And looking at the music I make now, I don't mean to sound arrogant or cocky or anything, but my music sounds nice. Like, it sounds a lot more refined. It sounds a lot more polished and more professional. Something that I'm definitely proud of. And just having people come up to me now makes me, I feel like I've definitely had more people come up to me now to tell me about how my music is good than how I was when I was younger. And I would say that the seeking validation from other people, or I would say the fact that few people came up to me was my motivation to get better. It was my motivation to see what's wrong with the music that I'm making, or not necessarily what's wrong, but
grow.
to grow, yeah, to see how I can improve, to see what I could improve on, yeah, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I'm just super proud of where I've come from. I'm just super proud of the progress I've made. And even hearing about how people said that in the past, they thought my music had too much autotune. It was like, oh, this guy uses too much autotune. What? His music stuff will probably fade away. And then in the same sentence after that, they would say, but now your music is incredible. Like, I was just listening to it last night with my friend. We were vibing with it. It was amazing. I'm like, wow, that really motivates me to keep going, because I know I could be a lot better now.
Mm-hmm. It's difficult when you're young like that because you don't know any better, and especially, let's say you're the first child, like your parents don't know how to react or even give you advice, because they could give you advice, but at that age it's just a matter of like, will you retain it or will you actually do what they say?
Yeah.
Because let's say like my dad was probably in his 30, he's probably 38. Yeah, 38. My dad was 38 and he's probably giving me this information. I'm just like, oh, okay, sure, that, but I can't really apply it. Like, I can't apply it because I don't know any better, especially at that age, and it's difficult.
Yeah.
And I honestly wouldn't know as a parent like how to solve that problem for my son or my daughter even. It'd be difficult. And that's a lot of respect to parents, because they're also doing stuff on the first time too.
Yeah.
They're also doing stuff for the first time, and no one just gave them like a manual on how to do it, and it's very difficult. And mom and dad, shout out to you. Thanks. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Nowadays, like bullying I'm just gonna say for men in general, it's difficult to. We were talking about this before we went on live, but it's difficult to differentiate between giving someone a hard time and bullying, because men, they tend to like poke fun at each other all the time, and the common like phrase is "you're too soft" or "oh, you just can't take a joke," to excuse their actions from how they're talking to you and how they basically want to keep giving you a hard time. Basically, they're trying to excuse their actions and basically say it's okay for me to talk to you like that. But now, especially if you've never done it before, it'll be very hard. But you're gonna need to put your foot down at some point, and it could be the littlest thing. Like if someone, people that call me buddy, I get upset at it. I'm just giving you this as an example, but I don't like people calling me buddy. So every time someone calls me buddy, I say, please don't call me buddy. And it's something little, but not only that, it gives you your own self-respect, and it lets other people know that you respect yourself enough, so they can't talk to you in that certain manner. Buddy's just like a common term, a Minnesota term, but even then, it still bothers me, and I don't like people just calling me that.
See, I would say a good way to just bouncing off of what you said, to kind of put your foot down and confront, so to say, them, is to just say the simplest thing, just like, hey, just like what you said, like, stop calling me buddy, or chill, relax, or I mean, even sometimes saying chill and relax it could sometimes be a good way, but
sometimes people
take it as a joke too. Like,
no,
like you're laughing along with them. Like, hey, yo, chill.
You know, like when you give them like a free pass, that's basically what chill or relax is.
Basically,
because I know when you tell me chill or relax, that means like just don't do that. Like, because you're basically setting your boundary. Yeah, and that's a good thing to do. Like, you need to set your boundary, and you need to like almost make it distinct. Like, you be like, hey, I don't like it when you do that. Please don't do this anymore. And if they fail to respect that, don't talk to that person, get away from that person, because it's obvious they don't respect you. And that's the one thing I would say to people our age too, because I know it's hard, especially since we're at this small little school and you see this person every day, but still, I would rather go around knowing I respect myself than them like me. Because they're gonna respect me as well as me respect myself.
Right. If you don't respect yourself first, no one will.
No, sir. I remember Sergio talking about, like, when you wake, like, why would you, you don't look in the mirror and call yourself an idiot. Why would you, or like, or it was something like you don't look at somebody
And also call them idiots. So why would you say that to yourself?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's important. Self-talk's important. And what you feed through your media and what you're watching and who you surround yourself with is big. And if you want to change, don't be afraid to change. I know it's scared, like it's scary, like you're not gonna have any friends, but do not be afraid to change. If you want to be this person, go and do it. I don't know what kind of person you want to be, but I'm thinking you want to be a great person. Be a great person, and if today's just as good as any other day to basically to change. So why wait for someone to give you the okay? Why wait for someone's approval? Just go out and do it.
Yeah. And see, I know it could be hard to go out and become a great person, kind of train yourself, discipline yourself, because it can feel lonely sometimes. Like it can feel lonely that that the people that some of the people that you hang out with aren't at the level that you want to aspire to yet. It's good for you to be there next to them, encourage them as well, but don't block them out. Because if you block them out, it's going to be lonely. But if you encourage them with your journey, then it won't be as lonely. So that's some word of advice that I've learned that I wish I could have done a lot sooner. Because for me, it was lonely because I would block out people. I would put myself on a pedestal, be like, oh, I'm going to seek this change for myself.
You would give everybody an X?
Yeah, I give everybody an X on their face, kind of block them out. But in reality, we're all trying to level up. We're all trying to be on top of the tower. We're all trying to get to this level.
Navigate through life.
Yeah, we're all trying to navigate through life. So like I said before, people are people. We need people to survive. We need people to elevate, grow, and to even change our mindsets. Change how we look at things. Change how we can grow in new ways. So just something that I've regretted was not taking people on the ride with me.
I don't know, bullying is hard at a young age. It's hard to...
Yeah.
Because let's say like you went to like a school for I don't know how long, like you're always around those people and you see those people every day. Like, and it's difficult, especially as like a parent. Like if you see your kid bullying another kid, like what are you gonna say? Like,
yeah,
I don't know. You just gotta bite it in the butt. Like I honestly wouldn't know. Like if you were like doing that to somebody, I wouldn't know. I'd be like, dude, you need to stop that. That's not right. Like. But then sometimes, like, let's say, like, a kid won't get it. Like, I honestly don't know, dude. That's something to worry about later. But I mean, still.
Yeah, we're not parents yet at all. Me and Ernie don't have children.
No, not for a long time.
So we don't know what parents go through. So shout out to all the parents that do know how to guide their children, to the parents that love their children when they do get bullied, because it's tough. Like I bet it's really tough.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing I do is, I guess, another thing is I just work out. Like, I've been working out a lot, and it helps me with my anxiety and stuff like that. Because I do still get anxiety from past bullying and stuff like that. And sometimes people will say stuff that, like, brings back a memory, and, like, it kind of triggers me a little bit, and it's a little upsetting. And it's, I don't know, working out helps me deal with that. And I guess, obviously, talking to people such as yourself and my therapist, and just talking it out. And basically, I'm a person where I have a lot of thoughts in my head, so I need to take those thoughts out and go basically throw them in the trash, get rid of them, talk it out, and just basically get it out so I can live the rest of the day and be happy, basically.
Yeah. Going back to what you said about bullying nowadays, which can be translated into giving people a hard time. The other night, I went to a birthday party, and this person that I thought I respected, I mean, I couldn't tell from right away, but they were just asking me questions like, yo, Emmanuel, do you drink or do you never drink, or what's up with that? I'm like, and for me, I kind of took it the wrong way, but like, it made me feel like a loser, quote unquote. Made me feel like I wasn't cool because I didn't drink or stuff, and it just kind of made me feel outcasted. So after that, I was just kind of sitting, reminiscing, like, am I really a loser? Am I really not cool? Am I really the person who told me that?
Are you what they labeled you as?
Yeah. Am I what they labeled me as?
Are you a loser?
Yeah, I'm a loser.
The answer is no.
Yeah, and the answer is no, because I'm just thinking about, because I'm constantly reminding myself about all the work I've put in so far and how I can't afford to waste my time. I can't afford to waste my time. I've come so far, and just looking back at the whole semester about all the work that I put in, I'm like, yeah, I'd much rather be doing this than drinking. So just kind of reflecting, and also the other night too, that's the same night someone told me that the music that they listened to in the past was nothing compared to the music I'm making now. Like they showed me an instrument, they showed me how they want to record with me. So I was just taking all of those positive experiences that from this past semester and just from my own growth, and that was a much bigger picture than just one stupid little comment like, do you drink? Like, psh, get out of here. You don't have the same accomplishments as me. Get out of here. So
that's the kind of confidence you guys need, the kind of energy you guys need to walk around with and come with 24/7. You have to be walking around like, not like I'm the shit, but basically in your head like I'm the shit. Like
yeah.
you can think that, but you don't have to act like that.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty proud that you were able to identify that and basically understand and basically reaffirm your self-worth, and that's big, and that's hard for people, especially from our age all the way up to, I don't know, 40. It's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard.
Okay, so I feel like with our generation, just what we talked about with Sergio, just loves to focus on the negative, just loves to kind of be in self-pity, if that makes sense, and not doing anything about
like
it.
Other people? Or yourself?
Or I mean, I guess just in general, people just love to focus on the negatives because in a way it's comfortable, if that makes sense. Like you get comfortable just being so down on yourself. Okay, I can't speak for everyone, but I'm just gonna speak for myself from my experience. Last night I was feeling a little depressed, but then I was just looking back on all the positive experiences that I do have, and I think that's a product of what I do every day, which is to list 10 things that I'm grateful for every morning I wake up. So I think I was able to come to the conclusion of reflecting on those positive experiences and accomplishments instead of self-wallowing and drowning in self-pity. So that's for my experience. I don't know what it's like for other people. Maybe it's because a lot of people don't list 10 things that they're grateful for every day, which can cause them to kind of drown in thoughts about what they're not, drown in thoughts from other people about what they're not. What do you think, Ernie?
Well, what you're doing is more so just affirming that you are who you are. Mm-hmm. And I think that's great. Like, literally, I was watching a video and it said a person just gets more confident by literally waking up in the morning, looking in the mirror and saying what they like about themselves or what they want to be. And the example they gave was this man was like, I don't feel like I'm handsome and I'm not good looking. I don't think any women find me attractive. So then the guy goes, every morning, okay, who's your favorite actor and who do you find attractive? He's like, Clint Eastwood. He's like, okay, why is he attractive? He's like, he's ruggedly handsome. He's like, okay, every single morning I want you to go into the mirror 50 times. I want you to say, I am ruggedly handsome. Then I guess 10 days later he felt confident and he was walking around as if he was ruggedly handsome. And it could, I'm guessing it would show by the way he was just walking, talking, and even interacting with people.
Yeah, honestly, that self-talk and self-affirmation, what you mentioned, I think that's a big role that plays into how people act, confidence, and how people know that they're the stuff.
It's big. It's also I guess you could say, is a product of your environment. Because if you're in a negative environment to start with, because nobody learns or has the information input in them just to act that way or even think in that manner, if you think about it.
That's definitely true.
So if you're around that negative stuff, I would encourage you to talk to somebody that you trust and you're willing to listen to, and have them evaluate and give you I guess feedback on what's affecting you and how you could change. And I would also take it more so as a learning moment, as if okay, maybe I am actually doing this, not, oh, he's just attacking me and I'm this already, like, you know what I mean?
Like, you can take it as a learning moment, but also be able to distinguish it from an attack and constructive criticism.
Because truthfully, parents and uncles and family and friends, if you've been around that negative stuff, it's going to be hard for them to change. And if you want to change, you can definitely do it, but don't expect everybody to change with you as well. You changing and being positive can fill other people's cups as well, but it won't automatically change the red Solo cup to a blue Solo cup. You know what I mean? Full of water. It's going to take time.
Yeah, it definitely will take time.
And you have to understand that you are trying to be this person, like, for the bigger goal. And if these other people don't understand or almost accept who you're trying to be, that's okay. Keep doing what you're doing and just understand it's for a bigger goal.
Yeah. And see, the thing is too, like, even though there might not be people who rock with you, there's always going to be other people who rock with you. You just got to keep up that energy.
You just got to, honestly, it takes time.
Yeah, it takes time.
Honestly, like, I could tell you right now, at 12 years old, I remember telling you this. We talked about this on the podcast. Why don't I have a best friend? Like, why can't I just relate to somebody like how these two relate to each other? And now I'm 20, and now I have someone that I can relate to and be happy and just talk to them about anything, and they're still gonna help me and respect me and love me in that same way. So just remember, things take time, and we've been talking about friendships a lot and identifying who your friends are, and it's not gonna be like a one-trick pony. You're just gonna find this person. It's always trial and error.
Right.
And that's life. I'm sorry. That's just the reality.
Yeah. No one said life is easy.
No one said life is easy.
Life is not easy.
Life is not easy. It's hard. Like, it's difficult for people to understand too. Like, you can't just think that they're mind readers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I've come to notice. Like, you have to communicate that you don't like those things. Even if you've been around that person for a while. Like, I always hear this with, like, marriages and stuff. And even, like, from older folks like that, like, oh, she pisses me off. Like, she just does this thing. And she's like, well, have you told her? No. Well, then, dude, how's it going to change? Like, if you don't if you don't tell anybody it's the thing that you don't like, how's it going to change?
Exactly. If you don't initiate anything, then everything's just going to remain stagnant.
The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. That's
really
literally what it is. Like, you're going to drive yourself freaking crazy because you're expecting someone else to do something different, and you're not doing anything about it. You haven't even told them, like, what.
Yeah, that's true. Big facts.
Big facts.
Big facts. My phone's recording us talking, so I don't have the sound effects.
Yeah.
Sadness.
Rip in the chat.
F in the chat.
Yeah, when this is going to release, me and Emmanuel, we had a talk the other day that I was probably gonna eventually transfer, and I wanted to see where Emmanuel was in the next 10 years, and I told him where I'm gonna be in the next 10 years, and the plan is probably to meet up in the next year or 2 years, and I just want to see how much we grow, and I'm excited for that, and that's what we were talking about, and I'm just excited. And these are like the type of conversations you need to have with your friends.
Yeah.
You need to be leveling up every day, every year.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see where we go. I'm
Honestly,
definitely
I am
excited
too.
to see the
Yeah, because you're
the
going to be
growth.
graduated.
Yeah,
and
graduated, just a free man.
a free man racking up dollars.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, and with that, we thank you for listening to our stories. We thank you for
Allowing us to give you advice and just trying to help you guys out as well.
Yeah, hopefully you learned something from our past and how we grew from it and how we evolved to become who we are now. And we thank you guys so much. And just remember that there are people out there with the same struggles, same problems. Everyone's out here trying to level up. Everyone's out here trying to be the best versions of themselves. And it's so important that when you do see someone who's down and depressed and don't know what to do, be there for them. Tell them that they matter. Tell them that they're loved and that their life has purpose.
And in some situations, you always feel like you have to respond or give them some advice. I learned that the most helpful advice is just not saying anything and being there for them and just saying, yeah, I understand.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the most helpful, and just validating their feelings. That's the most.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I learned.
Yeah, it's okay to feel.
It's okay. It's not. It's a human thing. Like you don't have to be embarrassed no matter what anybody else tells you. It's okay. And with that, I want to say that you guys can follow us on Instagram at the Blindfold Off Podcast, on Twitter at Blindfold Off Pod,
and you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Just search up Blindfold Off Podcast and you'll find us there. Anchor. Yep, there you go. Shout out Anchor.
And you can follow me on my Instagram at _ERmenta.
And you can follow me at Emmanuel LKD on Instagram and all those other social platforms.
Listen to his new song, The Great Gatsby.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. By the time this is out, it's probably not going to be my new song. I got another new song on the way. Ooh, what is that?
A little bird told me you were recording a music video.
Ooh, yeah.
I wonder what that is.
Yeah, that's probably going to be out by the time this episode is out. Who knows?
Who knows? All right, and with that, thank you guys. Always shoot us comments, suggestions, questions, anything, and we'll respond. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Take care, guys, and we're out. Peace.